I think I'm entitled.
You want answers!
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work. When you go to church. When you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Well, see, first of all, it's normal when you go to the Old Testament, Moloch and the Baals, they wanted the children. Explained to me by Satanists because it's a higher level of blasphemy to God, against God. It's and for some reason the demons love bringing that kind of harm. We look at a child and automatically we're going to protect them, save them, guard them, whatever it takes. They look at a child. They'd eat it alive, they'd destroy it, they'd torture it. Gotta remember, that's their nature. And so, if they can show more of their nature to a defenseless child, they love that. That's why some rituals are called demon revels or satanic revels. The younger the child, and here's exactly what dark undergrounders have said to me in rituals, the younger, the better, and we never kill them right away. We prolong the torture. Why? Because we have to raise the energies, the terror, the fear, and then little by little letting some blood out, because blood is and all that torment. It's like, think in terms of rats and garbage. Smelly old garbage draws the rats. A ritual with all that torture, with all that pain, ultimately prescribed by the demons in the first place, it draws them. And once they begin to open the blood gate, that's what they attach to in the context ritual. Then when a child or a human is, that's when the demons are released to the practitioners. So it's all about their unsatiable hatred of God. Anything they can do to harm humanity, harm innocence as an attack on God in a sense. There's no question in their nature, they don't shed a tear. They don't have any mercy. So they'll harm, and they love that as part of the entrance to come into the side.
It really is unbelievable to think that there's people that can do that without any. I mean, like you were saying yesterday, how do you not smack him in the head with a 2x4? You must have.
There's times.
Knees just like.
Well, there's
the
some people right now. It's like, good news is we're working with some people, law enforcement people, that are going to go after him, and praise God if they get jailed. I even told some of them in Pennsylvania, if they go to jail, praise God they go to jail. That because we realize this, like that, Satanist ritualistic pedophiles, they don't stop until they get stopped.
For many in the United States and Canada, it's much more convenient. It feels better to deny that Satanism is rampant in America and Canada. It feels better to deny that we have young people by the millions now captivated in something that can make killers out of them. And yet, my friend, right now, there are over 12 million teenagers and younger children who are now involved in the occult in one way or another. And denying it isn't going to make any difference. See, whether you believe in occultism, whether you believe that Satan has power, whether you believe that Satan can give you the things that he's promising these kids, that's immaterial, my friend, because they believe it.
I truly agree with you. Satanism and occult services, sorceries, this is nonsense. That is something that confuses people, brings them to darkness, and affects them greatly. Affects their psyche, their morale, and we need to fight against it, but do it carefully, without violating human rights. Your colleagues have mentioned it as well.
Поэтому ведут против нас все более агрессивные информационные атаки. Целью выбирают прежде всего, конечно, молодых людей, молодые поколения. И здесь опять лгут постоянно, извращают исторические факты, не прекращают нападки на нашу культуру, на русскую православную церковь, другие традиционные религиозные организации нашей страны. Посмотрите, что они делают со своими собственными народами. Разрушение семьи, культурной и национальной идентичности, извращение, издевательства над детьми вплоть до педофилии объявляются нормой их жизни. А священнослужители, священников принуждают благословлять однополые браки. Да Бог с ними, пускай что хотят, то и делают. Что здесь хочется сказать? Взрослые люди имеют право жить, как хотят. Мы к этому так и относились в России, и всегда к этому будем так относиться. Никто в частную жизнь не вторгается, и мы не собираемся этого делать. Но хочется им сказать, но посмотрите, извините меня, священное писание, главные книги всех других мировых религий. Там все сказано, в том числе то, что семья – это союз мужчины и женщины. Но и эти.
Also breaking today, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announcing the release of millions more files related to Jeffrey Epstein.
The Justice Department released so many records from the Epstein files today, more than 3 million pages plus videos and photos, that if you were to print them out and stack them up, they'd be about 3 times taller than the Statue of Liberty. Along with a team of journalists, Ed O'Keefe is going through all of that tonight to see what's revealed about the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
The categories of documents withheld include those permitted under the Act to be withheld. Files that contain personally identifiable information of victims or victims' personal and medical files, and similar files, the disclosure of which would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced. Although the Act allows for withholding for items necessary to keep secret in the interest of national security or foreign policy, no files are being withheld or redacted on that basis.
Actually, you're not exaggerating when you say millions. More than 3 million pages are now being posted to the Justice Department website. This includes more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. The Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche took multiple questions on the files released today and said most of the videos are commercial. Not all videos featuring Jeffrey Epstein or shot by Jeffrey Epstein. Blanche says medical records, images that may show harm toward children, and any sort of physical abuse were not released publicly. Some of the names mentioned in the files dumped today: Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Steve Bannon. Again, not much context when names are released. Important to point that out, and we've not seen evidence that anything was criminal between those men. Now, context is key, but there's not been a lot of context. Some of the communications from Epstein are none too kind to this man, President Trump. The two knew each other back in the 90s in Palm Beach and are pictured together numerous times over the years. Today's document release includes Trump's name many times, but there is a note that says some of the claims were submitted to the FBI before the 2020 election, and of the documents released thus far, none have anything criminally damaging involving President Trump.
The files reveal hundreds of references to President Trump, who's never been charged with any wrongdoing. Some describe allegations referencing underage women. Others detail parties allegedly held at the president's Mar-a-Lago estate. A 2012 email details the possibility of Epstein going to Mar-a-Lago after Christmas. That's several years after Trump claims he and Epstein ended their friendship.
I haven't spoken to him in probably 15 years or more.
In a 2016 deposition, Epstein is asked several questions about former President Bill Clinton flying on his jet and whether he was accompanied by 2 young women. Epstein answered fifth to each question. Clinton has denied any wrongdoing. In another email, Epstein writes about helping Microsoft founder Bill Gates to get drugs in order to deal with consequences of sex with Russian girls. Gates' ex-wife told CBS News her then-husband's relationship with Epstein played a role in their divorce. Epstein, in an exchange with Elon Musk, discusses sending his helicopter to take him to his island. Musk asking what day, night, will be the wildest party. Danny Bensky, who said she was abused by Epstein in 2004 at age 17, believes the Justice Department is withholding information.
So I think that the release right now is being sold as transparency, and it is not transparent at all. I think it 100% protects the perpetrator.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
A spokesperson for Bill Gates called the claims against him completely false. No comment yet from Elon Musk. The White House says the documents include sensationalist claims against the president, and the Justice Department says it withheld about 200,000 documents for legal reasons, and that the review of the Epstein matter is complete.
Here's Blanche on criticism that he, the president's former personal attorney, is protecting his former client. Watch.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Blanche says it's possible more would be released if judges order more to be released, but he said of today's release, quote, "Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process."
NBC News cannot verify whether Musk actually traveled to the island, and he is not accused of any wrongdoing. Musk has previously said he declined multiple invitations to visit Epstein's Caribbean estate. Other new emails show Epstein and New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch discussing women for him to meet back in 2013. In one exchange, Tisch asks if Epstein has anyone in New York he wants him to meet. After Epstein describes one woman, saying she speaks mostly French, Tisch writes back, "Working girl?" It's unclear if they ever met. NBC News has reached out to Tisch for comment. The DOJ also posted and then temporarily removed a spreadsheet of complaints made to the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. It includes accusations about both President Donald Trump and former President Bill Clinton. But there is no indication the tips were verified, and the complaints were made over an unspecified time frame. Asked for comment, the White House directed NBC News to a DOJ press release stating some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against President Trump. Trump and Clinton have denied any wrongdoing and have not been accused by authorities. A group of Epstein survivors slammed the DOJ over the document dump, saying in a statement, "Survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abused us remain hidden and protected." Some lawmakers also not satisfied. The top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee arguing the DOJ is not in compliance with a congressional subpoena for unredacted files.
Donald Trump and the Department of Justice just made it clear right now that they intend to withhold approximately 50% or half of the Epstein files while claiming to have fully complied with the law. This is outrageous and incredibly concerning.
As some lawmakers hunt for more answers, Attorney General Pam Bondi will testify before Congress in 2 weeks.
This document was a detective with the San Francisco Police Department. I think it was the first recognized law enforcement specialist that was into the occult, or not into the occult, but specialized in the occult, I should say, in occult crimes. And the thing about this document, too, the United States Defense Investigative Service, I believe it is, they reviewed it and they approved it. And not only that, a bunch of other career investigators, they teamed together to write this document. So it wasn't just one person pulling all of this stuff out of thin air. No, this was a coordinated effort to gather intelligence to gather information and to piece together things that were kind of fragmented and bring it all together into one unified document so that people like, i.e. law enforcement officers who may or may not come in contact with these types of crimes would be better equipped to handle them based on, what's in this document. And the document also goes on to say that the crimes, they're vicious, they're revolting, and they create fear in whatever community they take place in. So think about this, right? So what does this mean? Think about this. It means that the federal government, it trained the police across the country to investigate satanic ritual crimes. Officially, on the record, okay? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It never was, and it never will be. The fact is that they're trying to cover this whole thing up in a way that discredits it. So whenever somebody might bring up the claims in the future, they're laughed at in the same way that they used to laugh at the UFO people. Like I said, this DOJ manual is pretty long, Satanic Cult Awareness. I think it runs like 47, 48 pages, something like that. It's a pretty long document, and it lists different types of abuse that these Satanists do to their victims. Physical confinement in cages, sexual torture, forced witness of murder, brainwashing, near-death experiences that are used as control mechanisms. So basically psychological torture, fracturing of personalities, like all the things that people have been saying that they've been doing forever, right? And this document also lists 32 different occult-related homicide clues for crime scene investigators, so that when they're investigating a murder or investigating whatever, if they come across these clues in a specific way, it might point them to say, hey, this isn't just, a random murder. This is a ritualistic murder, and it was done by a group of people. And understand this, people. This wasn't theory. This was training material. Yet, the mainstream media says it's all fake. All right. In this report, well, I think his conclusion went something like this. There's little to no corroborating evidence for organized ritualistic satanic abuse, something like that. He chalked it all up to false memories, contaminated interviews.
The FBI's 1988 Uniform Crime Report indicates more than 18,000 murder investigations during that year, and 26% of those murders were listed as bizarre or ritualistic. In that same year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children listed more than 9,000 unresolved cases of missing children. The National Clearinghouse on Satanic Crime in America estimates 50% of the cases of missing children and bizarre murders may be linked directly to satanic and other occult organizations. It is common for these groups to kidnap their victims, usually infants and young children, from hospitals, orphanages, shopping centers, or off the streets. Others live and die without a trace. This is because some children are born to cult members and later killed, so there are no records of their births or deaths. Inmate interviews conducted by Professor Al Carlisle of the Utah State Prison System show that lawbreakers are heavily involved in the occult. There may be as many as 60,000 human sacrifices per year in this country, according to Professor Carlisle, and there is a distinct correlation, he says, with these human sacrifices and the high number of missing persons. This is because some satanic groups dispose of their victim by dismembering the body and cremating the remains, eliminating any possibilities for identification. Members of satanic and occult groups come from all walks of life. Many are highly intelligent individuals. Michael A. Aquino, senior initiate and founder of the Temple of Set in San Francisco, is also a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve. He's received a top-secret security clearance to attend the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. Anton Sandor LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan, was once a circus lion tamer. These charismatic leaders, and many like them, seek out others who have a high degree of intelligence.
So anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this? What do you think?